Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. I was just so blessed when I was asked to teach on this and to share on this. But you see, being Old Testament, I always am a little reticent about understanding the very minute parts of this. So I went to Reverend Cummings for the research department to give me the literal of this. And first of all, I want to be sure now to share this so that you all will have a good basic understanding of what it's really saying. And first of all, I always think about to whom it is written. And to whom is it written? To God's children in the Old Testament, right? And here we are. We have even more than what they had because we have the Spirit born within us. Sometimes hard for me to see just the difference because, you see, God was so good to His children all the time and from the very beginning. And I know that they had Spirit upon them, some of them only, at times, and that mostly the general public had to depend on the prophets who were God's spokesman for Him. And so we see this is Old Testament, and I wonder, do you see any contradiction in that between that and what is written to us? So that's how we can judge whether it's for us or not. If it doesn't contradict with anything that's written to us, then we can apply it. What's written for our learning, we can apply that to us also. So we see that there is no contradiction between what it says there and what's written to us, so that we can apply it in our lives. So many times also the King James Version is not reliable. And so we're going to just study this whole verse and take it apart piece by piece, first of all. The word merry is glad or joyful, first of all, the word merry. And then we have the word like. There's really no reason for that word like being in there, and we'll see that a little bit later. The word good has a very broad meaning and is well translated. The word medicine is more properly cure. It comes from the Hebrew to thrust away, as one would thrust away a bandage that's no longer needed. The Aramaic omits the idea of medicine, and it reads, "A merry heart will do the body good." And so Lambda translate, make the body healthy. Since Proverbs are usually structured in parallel sentences, the Aramaic is probably the correct reading. And in this case, the merry heart would be parallel with a broken spirit. Let's open your Bibles to that verse so we can see it clearly. Proverbs are being written mostly in parallels. And so the first part of that verse should run parallel with the second. And so we read, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones." Do you see anything there that does not parallel? Remember the word like? Do you see a parallel of that? No, there's no parallel. And so we delete that word like. And then in the second half of the verse, the broken spirit means wounded or smitten. In this context, it has more the emphasis of disappointed, downcast, or discontented. as a general state, and it's more like that in a general state than it means to be hurt by a single event. And I think that's easy to see because in the Old Testament, they didn't have, like I said, spirit within them. And so I believe unless there was a prophet there that could teach them, that they did not have merry heart as just a general rule, but only when they would, of course, think on the Word like we think on the Word, the things that they had been taught and believed. But it was more like a general state of discontent in this verse than it was one single event. But it could be both. The Spirit is the heart, the seat of the personal life. We know that. And the word drieth, then, is used literally of wet things that dry up. It is also used metaphorically of sapping strength and vigor, which is its usage here in Proverbs 17:22, as sapping strength and vigor. The word bones is singular in the Hebrew. Now we know the blood which contains the soul life is manufactured in the bone. And we can see Proverbs 3:7 and 8. Psalms, Proverbs. It reads, "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones." Literally, then, marrow to the bones is saying a wounded personal life saps the strength from an individual. And so I want to give you a literal according to usage. A glad heart makes the body healthy, but a wounded life saps the strength from the body. Rotherham's translation has it, "A joyful heart worketh an excellent cure, but a stricken spirit drieth up the bones." Now, what is the purpose of us taking our time this morning to study this verse? What is the purpose of this scripture being given to us? I think we see that in 2 Timothy. Let's turn to that. 2 Timothy 3:16. Are you ready? All Scripture given by inspiration of God and is profitable. There we see that the reason that this verse is given to us is because it's profitable to us. God's interested in our profit. So he's interested in our state of health, which is a profit. And it's profitable for doctrine, for reproof. For doctrine, first of all, is teaching us right believing, right? And so it's in the line of health that this verse is given to us. And it's given for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, which is instruction in righteousness. For what purpose? That the man of God may be perfect, truly furnished unto all good works. At every instant, every moment, no matter where you are, you're truly furnished unto all good works. Isn't that a terrific verse to know? And so a merry heart worketh an excellent cure, makes for a healthy body. And so we see there seems to be quite a profit in that verse to us.